Right, the Scottish Conservatives met in Aberdeen this weekend for their spring conference. Douglas Ross used his leader's speech to take aim at the SNP's record over the past 15 years. He said Scotland had become inward-looking and increasingly bitter. He struggled with a bad throat this week, Douglas Ross. He did manage to deliver his speech despite a croaky voice and a pretty dodgy autocue, but he's not feeling up to an interview this morning, we're told. So here in his place is another Scottish Tory frontbencher, the party's health spokesperson, Sandesh Gulhane. Thank you very much indeed for coming in, Dr Gulhane. What did you make of what Ian Blackford had to say? Some criticism of the Chancellor there?
Well, I just want to take a moment before we talk about Ian Blackford and one of the tragedies that happened, and I'm sure some people have seen online. One of our party staff members unfortunately died. He was doing what he loved, playing rugby, representing his country for the Scottish Parliament. I remember him, David Hill. When I first got to Parliament, he welcomed me. I didn't have any team members, and he took me through and helped me, and it's a real tragic loss.
It certainly is, and we would extend, obviously from our team as well, our condolences to all of Mr Hill's colleagues, friends and family. A bit of perspective, actually, worthwhile perspective there. Thank you for reminding us of that. If I may move on, though, Ian Blackford delivering some fairly strong words against Rishi Sunak. Should the Chancellor be doing more? We don't expect much from him, judging by what he's been saying on the Sunday shows this morning.
Well, when it comes to Ukraine, well, let's look at a lady who spoke at party conference, Xenia Dove. She gave a moving speech about Ukraine, about the things that were happening. There wasn't a dry eye in the House.
I'm talking about the spring statement, though.
Well,
making life easier for all of us.
Just on what Xenia Dove has said, you know, she was talking about Ukraine. She was talking about how, whilst the rest of the world were thinking about what to do, Britain had already helped, and that soldiers were singing "God Save the Queen" when they were firing anti-tank missiles.
That might be the case, but let's talk about what he's doing to help people the least well off in this country, because Ian Blackford is saying he's not doing enough. There's more he could be doing, and people here, despite the crisis in Ukraine occupying a lot of bandwidth at the moment, people here are really struggling as well.
Absolutely, and the cost of living crisis is getting worse, and we can see that with the cost of petrol rising. We think 8% inflation is coming, but we need to be absolutely clear that the Scottish Government have plenty of levers at their disposal to be able to help. The Scottish Government have a lot of money. There's £450 million that we don't really know what they've done with. And that's the type of thing that we really do need to be looking at, and we need to be seeing the Scottish Government helping.
You don't know what they've done with £450 million?
Well, Audit Scotland was looking into it, and this is one of the bills that we're actually looking to bring forward, is about opening the books and looking at how the Scottish Government pays and how it uses. It's not their money, it's our money. This is taxpayers' money, and we need to see how every penny is spent, and that's what one of our bills is what we're putting forward.
Listen, let's move this forward to your party then, and specifically the leader of your party nationally. Boris Johnson addressed Conservative conference this weekend in Perth. All the members happy he was up there and addressing them this weekend?
Yes, they were. It's very important.
Really?
It's very important the Prime Minister addresses our conference with what is going on, with the fact that
Shouldn't be Prime Minister, though, should he, according to you and many of your party colleagues very recently?
We need to go back to the war in Ukraine. This is an absolutely tragic human cost. What we need to be absolutely clear about is we don't want to be destabilising Britain right now, and that's what a leadership election would do.
Well, you can't change the Prime Minister during a time of conflict?
During a time of conflict and crisis? Absolutely not. We need...
What happened in the Second World War? We replaced Neville Chamberlain with Winston Churchill, and that seemed to work out all right, didn't it?
Well, Sir Keir Starmer even said on your show that now is not the time. And if Labour are saying that, we're agreeing that this is not the time. It's not time for introspection and navel-gazing. Now is the time for action and helping the people of Ukraine. And that's exactly what we need to do, and the Prime Minister...
What do you expect him to do? What difference can he make?
Well, we're already seeing what we're doing. We have putting aid to Ukraine. We've got lethal aid in Ukraine. We have been training them.
All down to Boris Johnson?
A lot of it has. We have been leading. And we heard... And just going
another
back
leader in charge, the same policy was being in place. Do you think he's fit for office? Do you think Boris Johnson is fit to lead the country?
Boris Johnson is fit to lead the country.
He wasn't a month ago.
Boris Johnson is fit to lead the country because we're in a crisis, and he is showing with his decisions and the things that Britain are doing that is the way.
If this is a guy who wasn't fit to lead us in peacetime a month ago. Why on earth is he the man to lead us in a time of crisis?
Because we are seeing results. We are seeing what Boris Johnson is doing, and we are seeing the positivity that's coming out of Ukraine. And it's those people that we speak to. You know, we can hear former prime ministers, the current prime minister, exalting the virtues of what Britain is doing and what Boris Johnson is doing. And so we are seeing results, and we need to keep that going.
Okay.
Let's not forget the importance of helping the people of Ukraine.
A time for diplomacy, a time for carefully chosen words and strong leadership. This is a man who yesterday, to your party conference in Blackpool, compared the Ukraine crisis to Brexit. Is that a fair comparison?
There's no comparison between Brexit and Ukraine.
So why did he make one?
We need to be, well...
Clumsy?
I don't know, but there's no comparison, and it's important that we remember the humanitarian cost that's happening in Ukraine.
Clumsy, badly chosen words.
The Prime Minister...
From the man who's going to lead us across this diplomatic tightrope.
This is quite clearly what was said, but more importantly, it's the actions that he's taken. It's what he's done. It's about delivery of what has happened with Ukraine and how the Ukrainians are extremely grateful. And delivery is something that the Scottish Conservatives are also pressing for, and we're seeing the SNP is completely unable to do.
We are apparently a bitter and inward-facing country just now. We're worse than we used to be, according to Douglas Ross. Is that right?
We are becoming, the SNP is causing us to become a bitter and inward-facing country. In 2007...
Because they're at one end of a polarised argument.
Absolutely not, because
of
the dead hand of nationalism. It's all about grievance and deflection with the Scottish National Party. They are not delivering for us. What are they not delivering for? Well, let's have a look. They're not delivering on long COVID clinics. £10 million was announced. How many long COVID clinics do we have? Absolutely none. They're not delivering for reducing our infection rates. They're not delivering when it comes to the basic things with education. They're not delivering their policies with a GP contract.
As you point out, Dr. Gulhane, and you're a GP, we have got record infection rates for COVID at the moment, worse than they've ever been. You must know that as keenly as anybody. Is this the time to remove the mandate for wearing face masks? What
we need to do is trust the Scottish people.
So at the moment of maximum infection, this is the moment to say you can take your face masks off?
We need to trust the Scottish people to do the right thing, because let's have a look at...
But we didn't have to trust them before.
Of course we did, and we did trust them before, because never in law did we have to self-isolate. This was something that we asked the Scottish people to do, and they did. And we can ask the Scottish people to wear face masks. We can ask the Scottish people to do the things that they need to do.
But we can tell them that they don't have to. You're a doctor. Do you really believe that now is the time to say to them, don't wear one if you don't want to?
We need to trust the Scottish people. We need to encourage them. In the same way, we need to encourage more people to get vaccines. We need to encourage those who have some hesitancy and are not sure about the vaccines. This is the greatest success story of Britain, and we need to ensure that we get more people. We don't do that by law. We do that by trusting the Scottish people, by talking to them and convincing them that this is the right thing to do.
All right. Sandesh Gulhane, many thanks indeed for coming in, giving us your time this Sunday morning. Thank you.